name is Trevor, and I guess this is my story. I'm 22 years old. I was born in New Mexico, but I was raised mostly in Victorville, California. One of my friends messaged me randomly and said, "Hey, let's play football, Maple Elementary." So I said sure, and I decided to ride my board. When I got there, we played for like 30 minutes because the group of people that I went to play with aren't usually like my athletic group of friends. They're my people I talk to about video games type stuff. So when we got there, it got cold and they were all wanted to go back home and go inside. And so I got on my board and I started riding home, and I started riding, and then I guess the way it's been told to me, because I don't remember it, when I was riding home, it had just started to rain as I was riding, and it was about like 4 or 5 o'clock, so it was just starting to get dark. And when I was going down the last street to get to my house, I was literally right behind my house. A guy hit me from behind. I guess he just didn't see me, and he caught me from behind, and the way they explained it to me, I went through the windshield onto the top of the car, and that's when he slammed on his brakes, and I flew forward, but because it was raining, he didn't get traction. So I flew forward and landed under the car, and he dragged me for like 45 yards. I woke up like 2 weeks later in a hospital, both my legs broken, had a scar down my stomach because I had punctured my intestine, and I was like bleeding internally and all that. I was in a coma for 2 weeks. My mom, when I woke up, my mom was there, and she had been there the whole time. I guess she had stayed on a mattress, literally in my room, the whole time I was out. And I woke up after my mom had showed me some of her Facebook posts from while I was there, while I was unconscious, and she told me that she showed me one of them when she knew I was going to be okay, because the doctors didn't think I would. She knew I would be okay when one day I was half awake and not really knowing what was going on. I had a breathing tube in still, but somehow I managed to ask for a Dr. Pepper and an apple, which was like, every day I had an apple with me. I'd bring 2 apples to school all the time, and Dr. Pepper was favorite thing to drink. So I asked for that, and she knew I would be okay at that point. Well, the accident happened on January 10th, 2015, and they kicked me out, where the day I left was July 24th, 2015, so it was about 6 months. Yeah. The day after my mom's birthday, or 3 days after my mom's birthday. But, well, the day that it all kind of blew up, I fell asleep on the couch one day, and I was supposed to have the dishes done by 9 o'clock. My parents weren't home, so I fell asleep on the couch on accident. And when they got home, I was washing the dishes still. I was in the middle of it, and it was at 9:05. And I guess, I don't know if Lamar had a bad day or what, but he just kind of blew up. I got really mad at me for it. And I was like, I just fell asleep. Like, I couldn't do anything about that. It just happened. So he got really mad. He went to my room and grabbed everything that I had bought, like everything, threw it in a pillowcase, and brought it to the kitchen to show me that he's gonna take it away. So he said, fuck it, like, you know what, I'm not your dad, you're not my son, I'm Lamar, you're Trevor, don't try to socialize with me, like, you can say, hey, what's up, but no, that's it. He dropped my stuff on the table, cracked a couple of my watches and all that stuff, and I had a cane from after the accident that my grandma had bought me. My grandma bought that for me. It was like 60, 70 bucks. When he was in my room and he was putting everything back, I guess he threw it across the room and it shattered against the wall. So I was pretty mad about that. I had to super glue it back together. But yeah, after that, that's the day he took my bedroom door off and started walking past mumbling stuff like a 12-year-old and just all kinds of stuff. And he bragged about that part later on. He told me, like, yeah, I did all that on purpose. I knew it would make you leave. I wanted to make you leave. To me, if you're the man of the house, like you always say you are, you should have just been able to tell me to leave. But when I went into my car, I was I ended up having to live in my car for about 6.5 months from the middle of summer to the end of winter in the middle of the desert.
So what the mother said about did she know?
Yeah, she knew.
What she said?
It was one of her ideas to go for EBT.
What your mother had?
She was one of the people that told me to go try to get food stamps.
She didn't ask you to come back home?
I mean, she made the joke like, you can if you just apologize to him, maybe. And I was like, no, I'm done doing that. I saw how that ended up last time. No matter how much I apologize, he is not a human being enough to care about my well-being. I feel like I'm not giving her enough credit. She did, reach out and try to call me every once in a while and make sure I was okay. And I did tell her, and she did get upset when I would tell her the situations I'm in. But I would tell her don't worry about it. Leave it alone. It's not a big deal. That's what I would tell everyone. Is what I still tell everyone. For a long time, I was mad at her, so I didn't even want her help. And then after I stopped being mad, I kind of became I guess it was pride. I was already saying I don't need your help, so now if I go back on that, I look weak. So I just didn't want to ask for help. But she does now. We sat down and had a long conversation, and I explained to her the things that I want to do with my life. Right now, I'm still chasing the financial service thing, but the issue is that I need to get another stable income to supplement that while I build that up. That's not a money tomorrow type thing, and I didn't understand that the first couple times I tried it. So right now, I'm just kind of focused on getting a job, getting something simple and stable, just so that I have that'll give me enough hours to focus on that, because that is the only field I've found that will give me a good enough stake, a good enough foundation that I can actually go and make all the businesses and the products that I have the ideas for, because I have a lot of ideas that really could change the world.
I broke down last week. I couldn't pick myself up. My mama called me last week. I started to cry when I hung up.
Living illustrious, sitting chillin' clustered in the streets, eating pizza with the beat, serving heat that'll speak to the underclassed, underpassed heroes that will be. Jumping to our feet and steady gleaming, spreading cheese across our face like we're living perfectly. But we know we all on pace, ain't no stressing when we know your place was never meant to be. So we move it steadily, never fearing adversity. Like I'm steering across the street, checking corners, taking beats, cause we're scared of what will be.
Yeah. Right.